What's up, everybody? KBO Collections back with a hobby walk rather than a hobby drive today. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, here's my little buddy right here. Let's go back. So, oh, he's running away. You can see him. He's the little doggy right back there. Yep, there he comes.
Workout paused.
All right. so anyway, so the little dog there. There's a little farm area right here beside where I'm walking at, and he lives there. He comes out and greets me when I come through. So anyway, yeah, doing a hobby walk rather than a hobby drive this morning. And the reason for that is because today is 1 month since I decided that I was really going to get out and try to lose weight. So anyway, a month ago, October 21st, I was feeling bad. I had hurt my back. I could hardly move. I'd been to the doctor. Having some disc problems, things like that. And just generally in a state of like not feeling good and kind of depression-like and everything like that. So anyway, I decided I was going to diet. So October 21st, I weighed in at 105 kilograms. So 1 month later, today is November 21st, I weighed in at 98.2 kilograms. So 105 kilograms is roughly 231 pounds. 98.2 is roughly 216.2 pounds. So that's, where we're at today. Anyway, so yeah, so feeling good and just out doing my normal thing, doing my walk in the morning versus nighttime, which is what I usually do because it's usually after work. So anyway, what I wanted to talk about, hobby related today, was I've just told you I've had some struggles and things like that. But we all have struggles, and no matter what people think, and I know that most people involved in the hobby follow sports closely, and you all know that athletes and things like that have struggles as well. Well, there's one that I'm going to talk about here in a bit. He had plenty of struggles and everything, but his struggles ended up resulting in some changes. And that's what this is about, and that's why I'm starting this here on my walk. So these walks have started some changes for me. So anyway, stay tuned and I'll show you some cards. See you soon. Bye. What's up, everybody? So I'm back with some cards. As I said in the introduction to this video, that I was going to show you some cards and introduce a player that had some struggles, but the struggles ended up resulting in changes. So, people that are familiar with, baseball and some of the rules and free agency and things like that, they'll surely recognize this guy right here, Curt Flood. So Curt was actually a player that challenged baseball and challenged the reserve clause and basically sought free agency. But I'll get to that in just a minute. So let's get to Curt in terms of starting baseball. So Curt actually started with the Cincinnati, the Cincinnati Reds. He was signed by them in 1956, and basically he had a few appearances with them between 56 and 57, but that was it. And then eventually he ended up being traded to St. Louis. So when he was traded to St. Louis, it was in 1957 at the end of the year. And then, as you see here, this is his 1958 Topps rookie card. So that's his first Topps card right here, 1958 rookie card. So then we'll move on over. So this right here is his 1959 Topps rookie card. Or sorry, not rookie card, second year card. Sometimes rookie, second year, whatever. It happens. Then have his 1960. Doesn't want to stand up, but right there. His 1960 Topps card. Then, moving on, you have his 1961 Topps card. And I don't know, I like this card. I like 1961. I'm sure some of you have noticed sometimes I wear a 1961 Topps shirt. So definitely one of my favorites in terms of the 60s sets. Then, moving on, we have his 1962 Love 'em or Hate 'em. Got the wood borders right here. Then, moving on, we have his 1963. So, yeah, I like, and I also, 1963 is another set that I'm kind of fond of because of, I like the small action type portrait over here. So, I think those are pretty cool. Now, so the one that I'm about to get to right here is the 1964 Topps. So 1964 is actually the first year that he won, or not won, was actually selected as an All-Star in 1964. So Curt was actually a he was actually a 3-time All-Star, 1964 being his first year. He was also a 7-time Gold Glove winner, and his first Gold Glove actually came in the previous year of 1963. And so, but as I said, 1964 was the first year that he was an All-Star, and he was a 3-time All-Star. He was a 7-time Gold Glove winner. Also, 1964, that was the year the Cardinals won the World Series in 1964, so he was a world champion that year as well. Then we get to the 1965 Topps. And then the 1966 Topps. So 1966 was the second time that Curt was elected to the All-Star team. Was in 1966. And also, another thing too is he won a Gold Glove in 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69. So a lot of Gold Gloves right in a row. So he was an excellent fielder. Then we get to his 1967 Topps. 67, again, another one of my favorite sets that was put out in the 60s. So this was also the year that St. Louis won a second World Series, was in 67. And then let's follow that one up with his 1968. So 1968, this was his third and final All-Star selection year. And also, what a lot of people remember 68 for being was in Game 7 of the World Series, he misplayed a ball. He kind of like slipped, ended up resulting in a triple, and that was in Game 7 against the Detroit Tigers. And then St. Louis ended up losing the series that year. And then at the end, so at the end, like it kind of he took a turn. It sort of, it affected him. Now, Curt, he always had like some problems with drinking and things like that. But from things that I've read, things that I've seen, like the 1968, that misplay of the ball, that was one of the things that that affected him the most throughout that time. So anyway, and then, like I said, so that was 1968. So then, after that, his relationship started to sour with the owner of the Cardinals. And, he, like, basically the president, Gussie Busch, and the CEO, like, he had a good relationship with him prior to that, but then, like, things started to sour, and he just, wasn't happy. And basically, during that time period, they, like, they just didn't get along. So he was trying to get more money and things like that, and then they offered him a slight raise, but not a big one and everything, and then they ended up trading him. And so they traded him to the Phillies, but he didn't want to go. But the thing was, because of the reserve clause, he had to go. So he kept refusing, and he challenged the reserve clause. And because the thing is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a letter. So this is something that he wrote in 1969, where he demanded that he be declared a free agent. So on December 24th, 1969, after 12 years in the major leagues, I do not feel I am a piece of property to be bought and sold irrespective of my wishes. I believe that any system which produces that result violates my basic rights as a citizen and is inconsistent with the laws of the United States and of the several states. It is my desire to play baseball in 1970, and I'm capable of playing. I've received a contract offer from the Philadelphia club, but I believe I have the right to consider offers from other clubs before making any decision. I therefore request that you make known to all Major League clubs my feelings in this matter and advise them of my availability for the 1970 season. So he wrote that to the baseball commissioner asking to be a free agent. And then, of course, we know that that didn't happen. And he ended up challenging them in court. And it ended up going all the way to the Supreme Court and everything. And ultimately, Curt ended up losing. So, and the reserve clause remained in the contract at that time. So, this was the year 1970 when he was traded to the Phillies, but he actually did not play during that year. And everyone was arguing, they were telling him, like, Curt, don't do it, you're throwing your career away, all of these types of things, but he wasn't willing to back down. He was going to take it all the way. And as I said, he did. He took it all the way to the Supreme Court fighting, and, he lost. But at the same time, that is what led and opened the door for this to eventually change and for the reserve clause to be taken out. And basically, that's what ended up happening. So, he challenged it, and while he lost his suits, eventually it did end up changing. So this right here was his final Topps card, and this was from 1971. So basically, after 1970, he ended up going to the Senators. And during his time with the Senators, he only played a few games. He didn't play many games at all, and only managed to bat like 200 in the few games that he had played. And also, he was, struggling in the field and things like that. And a lot of people say that it was, it was because of him, being off for the 1970 season and things like that. And it was just definitely, there were a lot of struggles, and he had a lot of struggles, and that basically took him out of baseball. So he ended up retiring that year with the Senators. And so one interesting thing that you'll notice about this card is the back. So 1970, there is nothing. Games, 0. At bats, 0. Runs, hits, everything, 0. But then, if you look, his lifetime, it's hard to see in focus. All right, there we go. His lifetime average was a 293. So he was a 293 hitter. And that was over 15 years or 15 seasons as a professional player, with most of them being with the St. Louis Cardinals. So, that is about all I wanted to say today, other than the fact that, I hope people continue to remember Curt Flood and what he did and what he did for baseball. And I hope that the current players, not just in baseball, but in every sport, realize how important he was to them and to the rights and things they have as players now. So, and in closing, I would like to say that I personally feel like Curt does deserve a spot in the Hall of Fame. Will he get there? I think so eventually, and it's definitely deserved. So that's all for today, and I hope you enjoyed it as I showed some Curt Flood cards. So see you next time. Bye.